Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. My name is Cameron, and today we're gonna walk you guys through on how to put a 2-inch lift kit on an EZ-GO RXV. Today, we chose Allsport. Allsport is a brand made here in America. This should be a pretty easy deal. Let's get started. Here's what's included in the box. Here are the tools you're gonna need for the job. First, make sure your key is in the off position, and make sure your run and tow switch is in tow. Next, let's jack up the golf cart. I like to jack it up from right here. Next, set your floor jacks for safety. Now go ahead and remove your wheels. And next, we're gonna remove this metal cover. I like to use a flathead screwdriver and a rubber mallet. Now, use your 15/16 socket to remove your wheel hub nut. Your wheel hub should come off pretty easy. Make sure to keep this for later use. And do the same for the other side. First step to removing the spindle is to remove the tie rod end. So we're gonna remove this cotter pin at the bottom that's keeping the nut on. And do the same for the other side. Save your cotter pin for later. After you remove the cotter pin, the next step is to remove the castle nut. The nut is a 17mm, and it just comes right out. If you're having problems getting this out, just go ahead and put that nut right back on barely, and that will allow you to hit the bottom of it with the hammer. Do not hit that without the nut because it'll mess up the threads. Next step, the last bolt holding the spindle on is a 16mm bolt with an 18mm socket. Now, grab your new spindle and make sure your steering knuckle is facing towards the back of the golf cart. After you have it in there, take the bolt that it came with and slide it back in the top where you just took the other bolt out. Now, hand tighten your nut on the bottom. Now, take your 19mm wrench and your 19mm socket and tighten it up. Now, go ahead and put your tie rod back in. And go ahead and hand tighten the bolt on the bottom. Go ahead and take a 17mm socket and tighten that tie rod end up. Now, reinstall the cotter pin. And do the same for the other side. Now, go ahead and put that wheel hub back on. Go ahead and hand tighten the nut. Now take your 15/16 socket and tighten it up. Lastly, go ahead and put your axle nut cover back on. Follow the same steps for the other side. Now, let's get our wheels on. The wheels we decided to go with are Mod's 14-inch matte black Chaos wheels sitting on Tesseracts. Now that we're done with the front, go ahead and remove your jack stands and lower your golf cart, and I'll see you in the back of the cart. Now, go ahead and jack up the rear of the golf cart and take off the wheels. When installing the rear lift, make sure to work on one side at a time so the axle remains supported by your jack and one of the leaf springs at all times. And don't forget the jacks. Alrighty, on the back, we're gonna be removing the original leaf spring shackles and replacing them with extended leaf spring shackles. And for the shock, we're gonna add a shock extension bolt. You're gonna be using your jack to hold up and support the whole back part of the axle. To remove the leaf spring shackles, you're gonna need to get a 15mm socket and a 15mm wrench, and you're gonna remove these bolts. Go ahead and use the same 15mm socket to remove the bolt that holds your shock on. Go ahead and use your jack to slowly lower the axle and the leaf spring. We're lowering the axle and leaf spring to create a bigger gap for our new extended leaf spring shackles to fit. Now go ahead and use that same 15mm socket and 15mm wrench to remove the second bolt holding the leaf spring shackles on. We're gonna go ahead and use the same bolts and nuts we just took out to add our brand new extended leaf spring shackles. Now just go ahead and tighten them with the same 15mm socket and 15mm wrench. And next, you're gonna take that shock extension bolt we were talking about earlier, and you're just gonna screw it on to the end of that. Go ahead and tighten that with a 15mm wrench. Use your hand to prevent the shock from spinning. Now, those bushings we took off earlier, go ahead and put them back on to the new extension bolt. When reinstalling the shock, the correct order goes washer, bushing, shock mount plate, bushing, washer, and nut. Now go ahead and jack the axle back up so you can tighten the shock bolt and put your wheels back on. Now go ahead and use that 15mm socket and tighten that bolt back up on the shock. Now you can rewind the video and do the same for the other side. When installing bigger wheels, most EZ-GO owners realize that the bumper rubs on the tire. You have to cut back this plastic, as you can see the previous owner did. We won't be able to show you guys today, but we would use a Dremel to cut that back. If you guys would like a video, just leave a comment and we'll get one made for you guys. Now that you're done with the back, go ahead and put your wheels on. Alrighty guys, and just like that, you have a nice lifted golf cart. If you're looking for any parts, go to golfcartking.com and you can find them there. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you have any ideas of what you'd like for us to do next, leave those in the comments. Thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next week.